Another fucking Monet, dude. I have 6 Monets.
Money. Money, 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 money. God damn. Bro is gulping down that Red Bull.
Alternate art law.
Hey!
Wait, that's the last one you needed too.
No, because I got one from Alex, and I pulled one in pre-release.
And let me get that one.
Damn, that looks
Got a
nice.
drip.
Richard did not even hesitate.
You're being a little sussy baka right now.
We're all just a couple sexy bakas.
Oh my god. All right.
All
Oh
right.
yeah, I hella forgot where we're talking.
What are we talking about again? Why are we here?
Because we're sussy bakas,
I
bro.
was cooking too hard.
Bad
Sussy
words.
bakas. All right,
Sussy bakas.
let's go ahead and start, guys. Welcome to Deckswabbers again.
Deckswabbers, we're back.
We waited so long because we were like,
Bad
man, I don't
news.
think One Piece is enough news to warrant one episode. So let's wait for ban list update. And then they're just fucking shocking our throat downs with like information and news. So we're gonna cover it all right now. There's a lot, dude. So
It was a lot.
I think we got to start with the elephant in the room, or the Gecko Moria that's not in the room anymore.
No
No more
The
going
Gecko Warrior
back to the
size
same
hole.
topic.
Yeah,
in your heart.
we can't talk about Gecko Moria in the pod anymore. This is the last time we can talk about it because he's banned. He's finally banned.
Yes, man.
I used to pray for times like this. I used to pray for it.
Yeah, Gecko Moria is finally banned.
As well
I mean-
as Ice Age, Raigo, and Jinbei.
Jinbei.
And there's a lot of
Jinbei.
discussion going around, obviously, and there's a lot of disappointment. There's a lot of anger. There's a lot of happiness and celebration. And we're gonna share to you where we stand. And if you guys don't mind, I want to share my opinion first on this. Like, with not reading reasonings, not like getting input from anywhere else. As the Lucci player in this group, what do I think about these bands? I think they're
Be
good.
gone, bro.
I think they're good. I mentioned in this podcast before, Gecko Moria is a broken card.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
It deserves to be banned. It deserves to be banned.
Yeah.
And so it's like I've been seeing people cry and like fucking curse at the world and yelled at, like, they didn't have to ban Gecko. This card, like, it wasn't as strong anymore, and it needs it for their upcoming meta. And I don't know why they banned it. Just screw over all these black decks. And it's like, what kind of player are you, right?
Yeah.
It's so crazy. You're crying that your cracked, overpowered card is banned.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, fuck this game, I'm not going to play anymore because of it. And it's just like, dude, fucking actually cook for once. Don't cook around Gecko Moria. Actually cook a black deck for once and actually play the game. Gecko Moria was such a massive crutch to Lucci. And it's the only reason why you'd be able to come back from games to whiteboard so easily and establishing 5 bodies. You could establish 5 bodies. You can go from an empty board to 5 bodies on stage. An 8-drop 9k, a 4-drop 6k, a 3-drop 2k, another 2-drop 3k if you did reduction, and a 4-cost blocker. Like, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's so much. It's such a broken card. And now, I'm glad that Gecko Moria is back, because now there's going to be more stuff that you can make with black, and not have to consider Gecko Moria in the future design space. And it's just, I think it's a good man. I don't know why people are so angry. Well, I think I know why, because their favorite card, broken card, got banned. But it's like, you're not a true black player. You're not a good player if you're crying about these bans. Seriously.
Yeah.
Like, you're just being a little baby about it. It's like, I want my easy Gecko Moria win. Yeah. It's like, that's what it is. It's like they want their easy win. They want their, I'll drop 8, get 8-drop and then combo off. I'm such a good player. No, show us true skill. Cook. I've been cooking on Lucci. Mark's been cooking on Lucci as well. I think I'm coping more.
I got cooked by Lucci.
Oh man, it's still a real deck.
It's still a real deck.
It's still a real deck.
And you know what?
Utas.
Because we're gonna get
Utas sent
to
me
this
to the
meta
Shadow
right
Realm,
now,
bro.
and we'll talk more about actual meta impact here. But all these
Yeah.
little cockroach fucking aggro decks are gonna be around with full of big breaches, right? And it's like, no,
Yeah.
we're gonna be there to remind you. You're not gonna get aggro off. You're gonna get a whiteboard. You're gonna have nothing. I'm still gonna be playing Lucci and wiping your whole ass board. Okay.
My
Don't-
goodness.
I'm still gonna be your nightmares, dude. You little bracket
Speaking
demon, dude.
Speaking of crybabies, dude, I got into an argument with someone on Twitter about Rygo, and I was just like,
It was a busted card.
I'm not saying that there wasn't counterplay. I'm saying that the way that you had to play around it is like unhealthy and unfun. You know what I mean? It's like with Gecko Moria, like nobody said that, or like everybody agrees that it's unhealthy and unfun because it's so powerful, right? And it's like no players forget they want to be at one life. Like you want
Yeah.
to trigger leader ability, and you want your opponent to be scared to swing into your life for fear of triggers. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I'm not like no one's saying that like you couldn't play around Rygo, but it was just hard to, because it's like, well, if you're not going to swing at them, you kind of want to establish bodies, and then if they had the removal for your bodies, you're just like, okay. And he's like, oh, you go wide, and I'm like, okay, you're gonna go wide versus a 12 card hand.
Yeah.
You lose.
Yeah.
Like you actually just lose, because then you Yamato one of the bodies, heal potentially, and then it's like, okay, now you have like a 13 card hand, and then still 2 more life afterwards. So it's
Yeah.
like, it's not enough. And Jinbei's gone now.
Jinbei's
You know
gone.
what I mean? Jinbei's gone now, so
Jinbei
blue
is
deck
gone.
can't go wide as easily. Red decks, the only way you go really wide for like one play commitment is like Chopper, and that card comes in rested. And that deck like gets shit on by an elf. So it's just like, what do you mean go wide? Like
And it still
literally
gets
decks that
shit
go
on by
wide.
black. It still gets shit on by like so many other things. It's just not. I feel like the shift in the meta is just going to be people thinking that they're going to be doing good, but they're not.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a very interesting time. I'm gonna be playing Red Green Smoker now because I'm like, dude, like deck is nice, and like even before the bans, like still decent Lucci matchup. So I expect the same thing post ban. So
Yeah, it's still the same thing. Like, if you're, I don't know, man. I just hope people are gonna be like, people are saying, oh, Lucci's out of the meta, Lucci's gone, Lucci's not gonna do anything anymore, and I want them to think that when they sit across me, the Lucci player playing Lucci, I want them to be so overconfident, dude. Oh man, it's
I feel the same way about people like sleeping on Red Green Smoker. It's like a solid, like a lot of people solid tier 2 pick and all that, but yeah, I don't think it's as bad as people think it is.
oh dude,
Yeah.
I think Red Green Smoker is fantastic. I think it's a great deck. But
Oh, yeah.
the way you're cooking it though, it's very fun. I think no one's expecting that.
To jump on the ban list stuff, I do like the reasonings that they gave, because reading through their general, like, I guess, like little synopsis of like why these cards need to be banned is like, again, I like when games do that, because that needs to happen. Games should be transparent about why they ban cards. They shouldn't just say this card is hit and then not give a reason, because to a, I guess, less knowledgeable player, that might just be confusing, right? But even to more knowledgeable players, it's nice to hear what their Bandai has to say about it.
Yeah.
But with Moria, extremely big ban, and it needed to happen for sure. And I think one of the biggest things that I've been talking about for the longest time about Moria is that it's a game warping card, in the sense of uh, design space is so limited, and they even mentioned that in their own post,
Yeah.
that when you make Moria, when you have Moria as a card, your design process has now become so much more limited, because of the fact that every 8 drop is now inferior to Moria. And if you want to make something better than Moria, you're just reaching power creep
Yeah.
because that cards are insane.
Can
So
I?
it's like banning it was good not just for that reason, but also because like they also had to beware of like 4 drops and 2 drops to not be too broken that also work in conjunction with Moria.
Mhm. Can I go ahead and read what they wrote here for the reasoning?
Yeah,
So Gecko
I think it's
Moria,
good.
yeah, they said this card has seen a very high usage rate in decks that include black cards since its release. That is true. It's in every black deck. And we have been keeping a close eye on both its usage rate and its impact on the game. With no restrictions on the leader, it can be used with nor on the character cards it can bring into play. This card allows the player to gain a huge advantage too easily. Let me stop right there. I think we talked about this before. Gecko Moria is literally a 22 Dawn value play. That's
Yeah.
a massive
In
advantage.
Lucci it's 22, and then in like Eddie deck it's still like 14,
Uh-huh.
15 Dawn or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Playing it once is enough to create a large disparity between the number of character cards on the field between the player and their opponents. I talked about this just now. 5 characters on board with Lucci, making it powerful enough to single-handedly determine the winner of a game. Pretty much. We have also determined that developing an 8-cost card that can match or exceed this card's performance will be difficult in the future. As such, we have decided to designate this card as a banned card. And like you just said, like they can't make another 8-drop that is more powerful than this. It's just not. It makes no sense. This is like when. Sorry, I just thought about like. You guys play Overwatch, right? When Mercy used to have the huge res ultimate, and then they removed that because like this skill is way too strong.
Then they had to change
cry.
it.
Yeah, they have to change it. This is literally the same because they can't make ults equal to that strength because it's just way too broken. This is Gecko Moria's Mercy, man. this card is way too strong. It's just, you know, people say, oh, people are abusing Daffy and stuff. Like, yeah, I abuse the fuck out of Gecko. That was my thing. I didn't abuse like Daffy or other top end decks. Just Gecko and Lucci. That's my abuse, and I'll repent for those sins later by playing Gecko List Lucci. But yeah, like I think Gecko Moria, like we said, we mentioned it a lot. It's one of the strongest cards ever released, and it deserves the ban. And people who are crying about it, like, you didn't deserve Gecko Moria in the first place. Go. Cross has been posting Twitter posts about like lists that he's cooking. That's the first thing he did. He didn't cry about it. He started cooking. All right. That's the mentality you gotta have when a card in your deck gets banned. You have to cook. Let's keep going here down the list. I think let's stay on black here for a little bit and let's talk about Ice Age. We haven't mentioned Ice Age yet. And if you allow me to read it here, or how about this, Mark? Do you have it pulled up?
Yeah, I have the list pulled up.
Do you want to do a little read around the classroom here?
Oh, wait, hold on.
The reasoning.
Yeah, let me hold on. Oh, the reasoning list.
Uh-huh.
Hold on. I only have just the image of the band list.
Yeah, let me link it to you right now, and then we'll.
I like how the band reasoning. I just searched the band reasoning, and the first thing it gave me was One Piece band reasoning. I didn't even type in anything else. It's my algorithm. Thanks, internet.
I like
Anyway,
how the ban list picture for the reasoning has like 4 copies of Ice Age on it.
Oh, of everything.
But
yeah,
the top 3 look exactly the same.
Let me just remind me why I don't have my alt anymore. So you just did Gecko.
Yeah.
Jinbei, I feel like is definitely a given. Obviously, inherently summoning cards just off of like leader effects does limit the design space of, oh, is this going to bring Dofi or is this not? So it's something we can definitely glaze over. Going back to black, with regards to Ice Age, it feels kind of bittersweet. I understand the reasoning between like obviously a huge level reduction card being like the stable piece of being able to like be the main piece of like engine for any black decks. Most black decks are just going to remove cards. So when it comes to the reasoning, they said Although there are many other cards which share this card's ability to lower cost, this card is the only one that can significantly lower the cost of a character card for just one cost. And
Yeah.
when another key pieces like that is shared between the other banned cards is that it limits design space, which like yeah, I can agree. Um, I'm within like a headspace where it's like going back to what you said, like we can't exclusively just rely on cards like Gecko and Ice Age to be able to consistently remove cards and create this checkmate scenario where like, oh, okay, I only need to commit 2 cards, Ice Age Gecko and or optimistically attempt kick with it to get full value and still not only have hand advantage, board control, but also just removal at the same time. Like I completely agree. It just sucks because coming from like casual play, being like, okay, now I don't have Gecko for PB, and like other decks, like I was cooking with Kairos, and Iris Age was definitely a goat
Oh
card,
yeah.
but it's a necessary evil, and I really hope that with the coming release of the 4 Emperor starter decks and revitalization of like these 4 Emperors, they make these cards or give them other like not as broken but still very generically good support because we are going into a block format where a lot of these cards, I mean, well, except for Raigo,
We'll get to
we're
that.
and Gecko, yeah, we're gonna get rotated out anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, I should have brought back Saksuki.
Bring back Sokka.
Bring back Sokka.
Nah, that
Nah.
card deserves to
Nah,
get
that
banned.
fuck that leader. Sokka could stay with a donut in him.
Yeah, Ice Age. Just to like glaze over what you said, it's also just too strong of a card. It's
Yeah.
the same thing as like Great Eruption, 1 cost, -2 draw a card. Like, nah, man. That I think I haven't mentioned this in the pod, but I mentioned to you guys I had that one match against Manny, who fantastic player. If he played a meta deck, he would absolutely cook everyone else. But he refuses
He's
to.
off meta god.
He's
an
the off meta
god.
god. But he refused to play meta. And he goes off meta. He was playing Hannibal, and I'm playing Lucci, right?
Oh yeah.
On his 3 Dawn turn, he made me go first. On his 3 Dawn turn, he was already at 10 Dawn, starting. He
Oh,
drops.
you mean his third turn? Yeah.
He drops 10 drop Kaido on turn 3. That's insane. But I'm at 7 Dawn, and I'm like, okay. Spam them, get Tempest, draw Ice Age, Lucci. Killed your Kaido. It's like, shit, okay. Next turn. Drops 9 drop Big Mom. Cool. Ice Age, Soap Sheep, and then do another Lucci, I think. And then he does, well, fuck, okay. 9 drop Mihawk. Ice Age, reduce, or Ice Age, reduce Jack. And it's like, that match was the textbook definition of why they banned Ice Age. That was like the case study as to why Ice Age should be banned. This person, Manny, high rolled and should have gotten the win. But because I had Ice Age and Gecko, I just, I'm at a severe disadvantage because I'm at 7 Dawn and you're at 10. You're already at 10. You played a 10 drop. All right, Ice Age, equalize it. Boom. I don't care. Equalize. So
Yeah, it's a little much.
Ice Age definitely deserves to get banned. It's too strong. Aaron, talk about Jinbei because you played blue, and you're playing Boa too. What are your thoughts on Jinbei?
I think that Jinbei was kind of a stray. Honestly, I think like we talked about before with real underscore Josh, like 2 cost teach would have been enough, but now you're limiting like Boa's ability to kind of like cover up its own weaknesses by having to remove a body every turn, and allowing you to actually have board because I've said it before. The main issue with like 1-for-1 removal is that it's like, okay, well, like if you have no like on event cards is that it's like if you have no board, it kind of doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? You're
Yeah.
like you're like, okay, well, I went 1-for-1, but now I only have like a 5k swing with lead, and it's like really, really rough, right? So like, Boa losing Jinbei is a lot bigger, in my opinion. People still think that the deck is very strong. I think the deck's very strong. Single target removal is still very good. People are considering playing Smoker in this format. Mono black Smoker is a very single target removal heavy deck, right?
Mm-hmm.
You Tashigi reduce, use a bunch of other reducers, get something down to 0 and trash it, and it's like you can still develop a lot of bodies to go wide versus your opponent, which is obviously a very strong strategy. We've seen it with Dofi. Go wide, you might just win the game, right? So
Yeah.
I think Jinbei is like it's a good hit, but I wish that it was Teach instead because I think Dofi still deserves its spot in the meta as one of the stronger aggro decks, aka Blue Zoro, right? And now people are
Yeah.
considering playing Zoro into this format because it's like, oh, we still have Chopper, right? You still have Dofi. It's just red now, you know. So I think it's a
Yeah.
very fair hit, and their reasoning behind it, creating early advantage is the point of it. That was the point of it. But there is no cost, and that's the issue. In my like, so think
Yeah.
you know probably deserved to get hit. Wish it didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably deserved, to be honest, just because that card is like, it's a little ridiculous sometimes. Like, you can play against like Dofi or like Boa either way, and like there are those turns, especially against Dofi, right? Where like you're playing against them and they like play Jinbei, play they're on what, 6 Dawn or something? And they're like, oh, play Jinbei, play Boa off of it. Boa effect, put a Dawn, put another Dawn. Oh, leader effect, get another Jinbei, Jinbei into something else. Bro, what?
Oh,
That's like it's just like it shouldn't happen, right? Stuff bro just put fucking bro just put way too much shit on his board. He just put 16 dot on his board for fucking 6 dot. For fucking 6 Dawn. It's like the Boa provided like the extra Dawn or whatever, but it doesn't matter. It's like I don't know. Uh Jinbei in conjunction with like more than half of the cards that with more than half of like the warlord cards that are really good is just like a little busted. Like Jinbei into Evil, it basically minuses the fact that you're taking an extra card out of your hand, right?
mm-hmm.
Like Jinbei Weevil is literally like, oh, I played one character. I played one character. It's like I played two, but I only played one out of my hand because I drew a card, and one of
Exactly.
them
Just like
and one of them had non-counter, so it doesn't matter.
yeah, just like negating the cost of like or having essentially no cost most of the time is just like very, very strong. And it's like
Yeah.
we talked about it. It's like Jinbei is actually Gecko Warrior for 4 Dawn.
He kind of, yeah, because like there are so many times that like my opponent made plays with Jinbei, and I was just like, I swear to God, that card makes again. It's like Blue Warlord's version of like making the impossible possible, where like dude has like he needs to fill his board this turn with at least like 3 guys, or he's losing, and then they're like, oh, I got it. I just thought of it in my head. They're like, oh, I have nothing. They're like, I have nothing on board, but I need to end board with 3 guys. But I only got one Jinbei in hand. We got it. Jinbei Law the Jinbei, play Jinbei again, play another guy. And I'm like, it's over. It's
I'm
like
back.
it's over, bro just shat 3 bodies on the board. Like there are so many times where I play a lot of Ploofy. So like there are a lot of times I played Ploofy into Dofi, and the main strategy when you're playing against them, there's a lot of people who are on the other side of the spectrum. I'm on the side of the spectrum where you starve them. You don't give them anything. You put them down to like 1 or 2 cards in hand, and then you slowly reverse it back until you have a full board of big old bodies, and then you go for game. Um, but I'm of the mindset that in the early game you just don't give them anything, and there are times where I risk losing because they out of nowhere, I finally gave them like 2 or 3 cards because I have to go for game next turn. So I'm like, okay, I've got to give them some cards. So let's give them like 2 cards. And then I give them 2 cards, and then they're like, all right, cool. Jinbei into this, Jinbei into that. I have 4 guys on board. Pass. You have to kill me now. 100% you have to kill me, or you're dead. And I'm like, oh, that's so rough. And that happens sometimes in the late game against them. It's like they just have those times where like they realize I don't want to be playing stuff tapped off of my leader ability, so I'm just gonna swarm the board with 4 guys out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I want to lightly touch on Raigo because, as we talked about, Raigo is a very good event for Enel to KO anybody, right, at 1 health. And go ahead.
Go ahead. I don't even think it's just Enel because we keep saying that, but as time went on, BY was also playing that card.
BY. By the
it
way,
was so it was so easy for that deck to go leader ability, put 2 in life, baby, play 1. I still have enough Dawn to Raigo, and then also still mess around with a little bit more, and then just leave 1 life up so that my opponent can't like just rest my blocker and then kill me, right? Now they need 2 good swings or 3 good swings to try to get me. So it's like that card is just too good, man.
Yeah. And I want to get into a little bit of like the color pie, right? Because I feel like people sometimes forget there are 6 different colors in this game, right? Red, green, blue, yellow, black, purple. Each one has their strengths and weaknesses. And so when you start to break the mold of these color pies, such as swarming with Doffy or KOing big bodies with yellow, it's like you have to consider what are the actual strengths and weaknesses of these colors, the whole identity around these colors, right? So when you have cards that break that mold and make a color broken because the weaknesses of said color are now being negated, then that's an issue, right? Now,
Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of the reasoning just kind of comes down to, right? Is that you have, or like at least for like Raigo and Jinbei, right? You're just like, okay, well now like blue has no obvious weaknesses, and even if it is obvious, it's like if you don't draw what you need in order to counter that strategy or play around it, it's like really rough. You're just like, bro, like what do I do? I only have big bodies to play, and I can't swing at Enel because he's at 2 life. So I guess I just play the big body, and it's like, shoot that guy.
Shoot
him. Yeah, that guy right there, kill him.
That guy right down on the grassy knoll? Yeah.
Yeah, shoot him.
He's dead.
With Raigo, the guy's like, oh, you just leave Enel at 2 life. I'm like, okay, what if you have Flampe? You drew 2 cards and you killed my big body. Like,
yeah, no.
And you probably established at least 1 10-cost ace or 1 Yamato prior to doing that.
Yeah.
So it's like, what are you talking about? That's not a. There is very little counterplay.
There,
you know what I mean?
there are enough times where I played against the Nels. They told I did the thing, you want to keep them at 2 life, but it's like it doesn't matter. Even if they don't flambe, more often than not, it's worth them losing 1 life to get rid of your giant body.
Exactly.
1 life to trade a giant body, and then still after that they could play like a chump blocker or something is still like so powerful. It doesn't matter.
This guy is talking about like ideal curve. Like I play a body on 2, I play a body on 3, assuming none of those bodies get KO'd, right?
Yeah.
If you still get Raigo'd and they're at 1 life, you like do not have enough swings to kill Enel. With leader and 2 bodies on board, it is still not enough, right?
It's not enough.
You actually have to keep playing shit every single turn, and then on top of that, you have to know what they want to do, which is impossible because they have 12 cards in hand. Like actually, like tell me you can map out an Enel's hand perfectly every time.
Hell no, bro. I've thrown so many games because Enel's at 1 life, and I've got like 4 bodies on. I got 3 bodies and my leader, and I'm like, yeah, I think this is enough, and then it's not enough.
Yeah, they just have the counter.
They have the counter, or they hit a good trigger.
You're the one who disappear trigger.
Bro, they got 2 opportunities. they got 2 opportunities to hit a trigger. Like,
Beji.
it's huge.
Veggie,
It's
the
like
times I've gone,
Veggie.
yeah.
It's either Beji or like Shirahoshi to draw 3, discard 2, so
Oh
they get rid
fuck,
of
bro.
their bricks and they get 2 Ks, or just any other good trigger. Like there's so many of them though. There's so many good triggers.
And
Or
the
they hit,
times that it was zero cost into veggie, I was like,
yeah.
oh,
Or like even a Nami is good enough, right?
Nami, yeah.
Like
Dude,
even not even Onami, even the new one where they have to discard a card with trigger and then they kill a 5 drop. Like that is like still one of the better ones because more often than not, you don't have like 3 8 drops on board. Typically, you've got like a 4, a 6, or a 4 or 5, and then like maybe an 8 or 9. You're not gonna have like this huge smorgasbord of big guys. No, there's plenty of times where I play games against an L and stuff like that where they trig a card and it's just like it's not enough. But Rygo is that huge like fixer for that. That like I play Ploofy and like it's a great matchup into an L. But there are plenty of times where like I've got to rush them down. That's how that game has to go. I got to get them down as fast as I can, and I'll get them to like 1 or 2 life or whatever, and then they get to their 8 dawn turn, and they get to like their 8 or their 7 dawn turn, and they're like, all right, cool, kill your Luffy Taro, go ahead. And I'm like, man, that's annoying. It's like you just got rid of my 8 cost body, and it's like basically from there, it's play 9 drop Luffy or slow down. You slow down your roll super hard if you don't hit that 9 drop rush Luffy.
mm-hmm.
Because from there it makes trying to even out the disparity that Rygo caused in the power of your board, it makes it way too difficult to come back from. Because if you play that 9 drop mom, even if you heal, it doesn't matter because you don't want to heal. Because then their Yamato probably hits something. Then their Yamato probably hits your 4 drop or something. Or, even if you don't do the heal or something, you play this 9 drop mom and they're still at 1 and then they just play another right.
Yeah, no, and what you call it? And I think the distinctive phrase that that's important for what you're saying is that like sometimes you actually have no other choice. Like you cannot let the games go to late game because you know that their big bodies are either going to outvalue yours, remove your smaller bodies, or heal them, or both all of that,
Or
or
both,
they
yeah.
do all of that, right? So it's like sometimes you actually just have to push because you're like, dude, I don't have big drops. I'm just gonna ramp with Ploofy, go wide, and hope it's enough, right? Like you don't have Luffy Tar, you don't have 9 rush Luffy, you don't have 9 mom to try to stall the game in your favor. And even if you do, sometimes they'll just be like, right, go fast with
Yeah.
1 life, and it's like,
Sometimes so I think for people who argue against, and I think like the perfect example of a game where Rygo was so prevalent, I think it was game 2 of the third place deciding match during Worlds this year.
Hmm.
I believe the Enel player had like 3 Rygos in hand and like 2 aces and some other stuff, and the opponent went Jack, Rygo, Jack, Rygo again, and then it was like his only, I think it was like his only copy of Moria that he'd found that game, Rygo, and it was just like, bro, he literally can't keep up. Like he just can't keep putting bodies on board. It's just not working. And the whole time, his opponent was going uh Rygo, he was also going 4 drop Kuzan. Discard a card from your hand. I'll put this other card back in your life because I don't want you to have it. It was kind of a watching
diabolical.
watching watching that was like, oh my god, bro, this card's a problem. Like seeing stuff like that is like we like Gecko Moria is broken, but bro was countering back against Jack, a card that normally combats being killed because its cost is so high, or Moria, coming down and making this difference in the playing field. But
Mm-hmm.
then if it's your only big body and they Rygo it, it's still a tough scenario because now he had a Lucci on board and like a small body and his leader, and Enel's at one still, and it's like you don't have enough to go for game. Don't even swing. Like you basically just have to not swing. But then Bro would play a body, and it's like, well, Lucci wants to swing because they need to get that -1.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bro would eat for free because he'd be like, oh, let me check this life. Pretty good. And then just bill to your hand. It's like, nah, man. That card deserved the hit. I don't. It's like if I catch flame for that, I don't know, bro.
Hey, I'm gonna catch flame for what it said in the beginning. They calling like these, fake Lucci players.
Telling people that they need to build.
Telling people they actually need to play the game fairly.
No, I think it's a super fair argument to have that certain cards innovate. What's the word?
Warp.
It how many is it?
Certain cards can
it's
shift,
like
warp, change.
No,
magic
it's
term, game changer.
Homogenous.
Homogenized.
It's like homogenous deck building. It's like I'm trying to think of the
homogenous deck building. That sounds.
It's like
everyone has the same 8 cards in their deck.
It's like the word. It's like, is it homogenous? The word that just like says it's just like basically like everyone's doing the same shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Copycat, homogenous.
It's like yeah.
Cesspool.
It's very homogenous. Like everyone's deck is like the same like mandatory like shit, right? And like everyone has Moria. Everyone has Moria, right?
Everyone has Rebecca.
Everyone has
Ice Age. And
everyone's got the Ice Ages. You gotta have
a couple of Mepos too.
And to be fair, there's arguments to be made for other decks that are very similar like that, where they go, basically, this is what the deck has to be. But the difference is with other decks is that's what it has to be, or the deck fucking loses. Like, that's what it has to be, or the deck loses. With Lucci, it's like, the deck doesn't have to be that. I've seen people fuck around with certain leaders with weird-ass builds, and it works out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Lucci is one of those leaders where, like, you could not have Gecko Moria and you can still cook.
Yeah.
You can still cook.
I've won plenty of games in Lucci, like, during Gecko Moria era, which is, like, OPO7 till today, where I won without playing Gecko.
I was already, like, looking at the lines and stuff, and I'm like, I mean, there ain't nothing bad going on, bro. You can still do 7 Dawn turn, hard play Hina, play Rebecca, play Spandine, play Lucci. Like, you can still do that.
Yeah. Rebecca
on your 7 Dawn turn, you can still do that. And on your 8 Dawn turn, you can still do Tempest Kick, Hina, Rebecca, Spandine, Lucci. And you can still kill 2 bodies plus the minus of your leader.
And establish
That's what -4 twice? You got 2 different -4s there.
-3, -1, yeah.
Yeah. So you have 2 different -4s if you do it that way. But you can split it, which is really nice because you don't have to shoehorn yourself into -5 on one card. You can -4 one card, or you can -5 one card, you can -3 one card, or you can double -4 if you need it both ways.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I don't know. I definitely think the deck is still going to cook people. People still have to watch out for Lucci. I don't think it will be played as much because there's people who are definitely just of the mindset, like you've said, where they just
Gecko's
think
done.
Yeah, they see Gecko Moria gone and they think the deck's done. The deck is definitely going to see a lot less representation because people are just like, Gecko's gone. It's not best deck. I ain't going to play it.
If there's 100 Lucci players, I'm one of them. If there's 10 Lucci players, I'm one of them. If there's only 5,
I'm dead.
Then I'm dead. Yeah.
Oh, man. If there are no Lucci players, I'm dead.
All right.
Man.
I want us to move on from the ban list discussion because, these cards, right? And we've been touching about the meta too, and I touched a little bit about it too. Like, there's gonna be a lot of aggro. I think, meta-wise, these decks, right? There's gonna be more aggro because people want to beat Blackbeard. Blackbeard is a very strong deck. that's great against slower decks.
Yeah.
So there's gonna be Bella Betty, there's gonna be Zoro, there's gonna be Chopper to counteract against these decks. Probably ST21 Luffy as well. Like that lead is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Bonnie is going to do pretty good against these aggro decks as well. I talked with Gwedgie today for a little bit. He's like, "Yeah, dude, Bonnie's gonna be great against these aggro decks.
That deck is gonna go crazy.
Bonnie will go crazy. Blackbeard, I think people are still gonna adopt the mindset of OP09 Blackbeard and be like, this card, this deck, this leader, even though I know how strong it can be, it's like it's not worth it when you're being pinged constantly and you're not building board. Because that deck, I notice when we've done playtesting, you have these events that help you KO bodies so that you're not being swung at as much, but you're not really building a board until you get your Burgess or your 10-drop Blackbeard. So it's like, against these aggro decks that have Rush and other stuff can just ping you, it's like, oh, you know, you can remove the bodies, but they already got their value. So it's a matter of, you know, how Blackbeard's build around these aggro decks, and if Blackbeard's still going to be meta because of it. Other decks, Enel, I think Enel is still fine. It just doesn't have Raigo. But you have
it doesn't need it.
It doesn't need
Raigo.
It's still
like
good.
That's my main thing, is that I'm like, people are like, oh, blue still has Red Rock. I was like, blue needs Red Rock. And when it didn't, y'all cried about it, right? Because it's like, Dofi doesn't need Red Rock. You're just gonna aggro, you're gonna kill them before they get, you have to Red Rock something, right?
Yeah.
So it's like blue literally needs Red Rock, right? And it's like, Enel was fine without it, and then with it, it was like pretty good, right? Like, not broken, but you're hitting that level of like, I don't want to play against you anymore. Like, I don't think that was a fun game. You just killed all my shit, and then I lost.
Me against anyone playing as I'm playing Ichi. You just KO'd everything.
I mean, yeah, I would never want to.
Where'd you
Did I unplug my mic?
It went off for a little bit.
Oh, let me check my let me check to see it's plugged. It is plugged in. Okay.
Right, yeah.
But I was gonna say, I definitely think that's the kind of stuff, right? Introducing new players into the game and like making them play against like max power Lucci is like, damn, bro, I don't think they're coming back.
I'm sorry. It's just my favorite deck. I'm sorry.
It's like, damn, bro, I don't think they're coming back, bro. I think they got turned off from the game.
I saw what is it? One thing that made me happy. I remember that one guy from Brute Force Games who like was just starting out. Who was playing with a structure deck, and he was like, "Yeah, I kind of want to play black and stuff too. I see the color's pretty good." And like, I sold him my ST14 Luffy, the 3D2Y Luffy, for like $10. I was like, this shit's like going up because it's popular right now. But like, here, just give me $10 and like have it. And then I saw him at the San Diego Regionals afterwards. Like, dude, yeah, I kept playing. I'm like, oh my god, that's fantastic. I got you into the game. That's great when players are playing, you know?
We just love, bro, anytime more players get added to this game, we up. We
farm those. I'm just kidding, no.
I used to pray for times like this.
Yeah. No, it's, like, and also, this is going to players get into the game, right? It's gonna get into what what I want to move on to. I think meta discussion, like just to lightly touch upon it more. It's just it'll be interesting to see what aggro decks are actually going to be sticking. Is Lucci going to stick? Am I just like huffing so much copium that, you know, Lucci's actually terrible now? No, I'm not.
Lucci is like bottom A tier, like top like B tier deck. Like, it'll still like just ravage any off meta deck, and then even has like very strong matchups into like what people would consider to be like top of A tier. You know, it's like, if you see, like, this is obviously luck. Luck is a factor in this game. People don't want to admit it. It's a factor. That's why triggers exist. Luck is literally a factor, right? And then on top of that, it's like and not just with triggers. Like, sometimes you draw bad and you're like, dude, like, I could have won that had I seen one piece, right?
If I saw one gecko, or if I didn't mill 3 geckos.
Exactly.
And if you saw the one piece?
Oh, oh.
But
One
in our
Piece fan.
playtesting, over the past couple of days, like I have literally just been one card off from just winning the game, and I'm like, hey, it'd be like that. Not that I'm like, oh my god, but so it's like when Lucci sees its pieces, and you don't, or you don't see enough of your pieces, like you will feel that disparity. Like Rebecca Hinu Lucci will terrorize you. You'll be like,
Dude, today I played
like
a
somebody stop
match
this
against
guy.
Mark. He got PC. He played Plouffe and he won first, and he got PCP. But I still was able to swing it in my favor because like I was removing his board early, and like yeah, I took some hits, but then 10-drop Kuzan, free 5 Ice Age across the board. Like
You hate to see. Just kidding.
and it's like completely switched the tempo of the whole match because of it, and it's just like yeah, all right. Deck still fucks,
No,
but yeah.
yeah,
I want to. Sorry to interrupt you, Aaron.
oh no.
Yeah, I want to
Let's
move
move
on
on. Let's move
to
on.
another announcement that was done at Worlds: set rotation, and there's a lot of controversy behind this. So if you guys don't know, at the bottom right of these cards, there's a little number there. This X-Drake has a 3 on it. If I were to pull up this Bartolomeo, it's got a 1 on it. Now, set rotation is going to come into effect April 1st, I believe, 2026?
2026, yep.
Yeah, in April. And we can also assume that's when worldwide release is going to be synced up by then. Which,
Potentially,
by the way,
yeah.
they announced worldwide release, which is super good.
Something that we missed when we were for a week, but it's super
MIA.
exciting
It's super exciting.
to touch on it very lightly. It's super exciting. It's something that I think they've been planning for a long time because I mean their banner on their website has said like sailing towards worldwide like release or whatever for like since the beginning of the game. It's said that since the beginning of the game, and for it to only take like 3 years and some change is actually insane.
Mm-hmm.
There are games there. I mean, Digimon took like what 5-6 years, like 5-6 years, and they're finally doing it. So the fact that we're taking like 3 years and like it's gonna start next year, like we have a concrete time that tells us, it's exciting. It's super exciting. I'm happy for it.
Hey, can I use Japanese mangas and Japanese flagship cards, please, please,
It-
please?
I just want to
please?
use
I
Japanese
would
Dawn.
love
Please
that.
give me Japanese Dawn.
Yeah, Japanese Dawn.
I would love that. I would love that.
Yeah.
want
But I'm
all
also
of that. I
excited
want
too
cheap
because
ultimates.
obviously we're not going to get there. It's only until next year, but they announced that we're going to get the 6 new structure decks first here in the West. So like a whole different meta compared to the East right now for OP.
I think OP12 as well. We get here in the West first, something like that. Or is it OP12 or was it just the structure decks?
I think it's just the structure decks.
Oh, is it just the structure decks? Okay.
I think
Still exciting.
OP11 format for us is only going to be 2 months compared to the 3 months that we usually have per set.
Yeah, it's very short. It is very short. The time in between the sets has gotten shorter.
Yeah, because I think that's how they're going to catch us up to Eastern format. But yeah, it's going to be a completely different meta in June. Hopefully, Blue Purple Luffy's not tier 1 or tier 0.
Now Marco, baby.
That deck's a menace, dude. But yeah, I want to touch on set rotation again because we got sidetracked there. But set rotation starting April 1st, 2026. Cards with the number 1 double fruit will not be in the standard format, and we can only use cards in the 2 and 3 double fruit set rotation, which. There's a lot of response to this. There's a lot of reactions. Oh yeah, and then they also announced that there's official tournaments will only be on the set rotation, the regulated format, and then there's the unregulated format, which is basically, if we're going to use Magic terms, standard and legacy.
Yeah, there will. Well, they mentioned that they will have support for Eternal formats as well
Yeah.
for people who like. There will be tournaments for it.
Yes, there will be
They will
tournaments
have.
for unregulated format, which I think
Yeah.
that's good. If you're like me, who's like my OPO2 Porcelino is gonna be useless now, and I can't play with it. No. You can still play with it. You can do unregulated tournaments. But I think for the overall health of the game, set rotation, I think it's good. I think it's fantastic because now players who are getting into the game don't have to look back all the way into OPO1, which is a bitch and a half to try and get a hold of, and try to get these staple cards that are only available in OPO1 or didn't get reprinted from Premium Booster 1. So that's my opinion. For the health of the game, it's going to keep the meta fresh. New cards are going to come into rotation. I am curious as to, because they did say that they're going to reprint cards. Cards that are reprinted in future sets and have that updated Devil Fruit number will be legal with like the different printings, right?
Yeah.
But I'm curious because there are so many archetypes, through OPO1 to OPO4, just to touch on a few. Red Straw Hats, Green Supernovas, Yellow Big Mom Pirates, Black Dressrosa, Green Don Quixote del Flamingo. It's just, there are a lot of archetype support in those first 4 sets that have representation today. For example, Green Yellow Law or Yellow Purple Pudding, or Animal Kingdom Pirates with Black Purple King, which no one plays. So,
So I guess it's all right.
so I guess it's all right.
All right.
Mono Purple
Kaido.
good.
But yeah, it's like, I'm curious as to what support they're going to be picking and choosing here, and if they're going to put into consideration these leaders that have been released in current sets. Oh, also, what is it? OPOA Carrot. A lot of the minks are in previous sets. Some 2Ks, but like the main ones, the Searcher, the 5-drop Carrot.
I feel like almost no one uses like almost any of the old Minx cards though in the list for Carrot, because like they're all kind of really lackluster.
Yeah, I think the only one is like 2K Carrot, 5 5K.
Yeah, that's like the only one that's like kind of used. If I could chime in though,
go ahead.
So there's a lot of people like doomsaying basically like about this stuff, and they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna quit the game. I'm never buying an alt art again because it's just gonna be rotated. Why am I gonna buy an alt art just for it to get rotated? That's so dumb. Wow, all these cards I spent money on and they're gonna become useless again. I keep yelling.
Porcelino's gonna be useless.
I keep yelling at people that they've literally announced cards will be reprinted. We have had 2 premium booster sets now. They're not going to stop at 2.
Well, the second one hasn't been released yet, but we've had one. But they announced the second one.
No, I know, but they've announced the second one, and it's primed to come out. I think at the end of this year or something, or maybe beginning of next year.
In time for block rotation, so it's like
yes, it will be in time for block rotations.
It's like you said. It's just not. They're not going to stop at 2. Why would they? The first one sold so well.
Yeah, not only did the first one sell so well, but that was their point of the set. It's to give people a chance to get these cards that are very, very popular. And they give people a chance to get these older cards. It's reprints for players, and not only that, it sometimes with this new one, I know they said they're going to have more new cards than last time, because last time there was only 1 new card in the leader Sanji. But people are crying and they're complaining and they're worried. And they're worried that their card will never be able to be used again. It's just not the case. Their card will be able to be used at some point, even if it's only in the other format. It will have some use, or they will reprint it. They understand that there are some cards that are very pivotal to certain strategies, and they may still reprint them again, or they will release new versions of cards, or on top of that, they will just give us different support. So and then
Yeah.
they may reprint leaders from that set, you know, to be usable again later, but the new support might make you build the deck a little differently, breed new innovation. That's what we want with the
Mm-hmm.
game. We don't want the same leader to be using the same four of five times over. There's like five different four ofs that have been used in the deck for the same like 3 years, bro. Like that's
Yeah.
That's boring. That's
I
boring.
just had a thought. What if they don't reprint Otama?
It could happen. It could happen. It
I
could
can see
happen.
that.
Bye
Man.
bye.
It's like the best red 2K ever made.
Yeah.
It's like one of, if not the best red generic 2K. And if they don't reprint it, I honestly, I could see it happening.
Otama's
I
literally
could see them.
Tsuru, I just realized.
I could see them
Yeah,
not
that's
reprinting
true.
it and then printing some new card that's either got a different look to it or something, or it just does something similar but not exactly the same.
Mhm.
Well,
I
here's
just
here's a few other things as well that I think is gonna be good about them reprinting old cards in like newer sets, or like just reprinting cards for like block rotation, right? It's like it's a good thing because you have cheaper prices, potentially new arts for cards. Um, Also, people are like you said are always complaining about like this leader has been good for 5 sets straight. Like
yeah.
me free, you know. And then so there's that, you know. It's block rotation's good for that. Block rotation's also good because it means that we can finally start seeing like newer arcs get printed for the sets instead of just like themes like Three Brothers and stuff like that. We can go back to doing arcs because people are like, it's only 10 sets and we're already back at Dressrosa, right? I'm like, well, now we don't have that issue with block rotation. We can do like cooler stuff where it's like, we want this, these 4 sets, we want them to fall under like this theme, this style of meta, and all this other stuff, and like base it around product, which people love because opening shining cardboard make brain go burr, and like I don't know, it just seems like they're opening up so many possibilities for like good things to happen for the game. And meanwhile, people are focusing on like the 2 or 3 bad things about block rotation that I can't even think of off the top of my head. I'm like,
It,
okay, mate, like you can't play your favorite leader
mhm.
like every tournament, but it's like, why would you want to do that? Like, if you want to be
Yeah.
a skilled player, you should have experience playing multiple decks over the course of the game so that you can build like your skills, right?
Why would you want to play Lucci for a whole year? Who would do that? Me? No, never.
Bro just self-reported. What the hell?
Dude, I just want to mention, like, I was talking to you guys, and it's like, damn, I think I'm gonna be playing Lucci for like a whole year now. Before that,
They
Three days
heard
later.
you.
They heard
They
me.
heard
It's
you,
like,
bro.
no.
Burned.
But here's the thing about the leader, like, oh, your favorite leader's not gonna be playable anymore. Here's a like a double thing. They can reprint the leader. You get a sick new art for it, dude.
Exactly.
Reprint Green Kid with a sick new art and sick new support. Oh, it's gonna be great. Or dude, just like Red Green Kid, Green Purple Kid. Because I always thought like, oh, like if they're gonna make new leaders for these archetypes that already, or these typings that already exist, then it's like, oh, you have to think of a character that can be a captain. But what if they don't fit as an actual leader? You know, right? I always like, oh,
Yeah.
make like a Green Purple killer leader for Kid Pirates or stuff like that. But it's like, no, you can
With the
just
same ability
reprint
as
the
Green
same
Starter Kit.
character. Green. Oh, dude. Okay.
Ramp and just swing every turn. Play 0 board.
Ramp.
The only ramp and swing.
Punk Rotten. Swing 22. Restand. Swing 22.
Oh my god.
He's cooking.
But yeah, it's
He's
like
cooking.
we can get reprints of these leaders with like either updated abilities, right? Or
Mono blue croc, please, please.
Mono Blue Croc. -2 instead of -4. Bounce a 2-drop.
Draw hard.
Yeah,
Draw
yeah,
hard
like
if I
dude, no
relax.
one's playing fucking Mono Blue Croc. No one's playing fucking Baroque Works, dude. Like,
Actually,
Unfortunate.
the small hat crew likes to play. The only guy I know that plays Straw Hat or plays Baroque Works like religiously. I've never seen someone
I
love
sleep.
Baroque Works.
I
And I
sleep,
think
bro.
I think another thing about rotation that people don't understand is that people were talking about people were already saying that our card pool was getting pretty large. And then they were like, okay, we're gonna get to rotation, and then they're gonna, slash our card pool, and then we're gonna have like no cards to mess with, and we're gonna have no innovation. It's like, well, we're gonna have rotation, and then more sets will release, and then the card pool will be just as much the size as it was when rotation first happened than it was then. Because that's how it's gonna be. We're gonna slash off 4 sets every time a new rotation comes around, and it's just the way it's gonna be. But rotation also introduces this on top of that. Bandai can chill, bro. They can chill on making brand new cards in
Mhm.
every set. They can finally relax and not have to make a brand new 100 and however many new cards are in every set. There's like
151
what?
normally, or
It's like
121.
151 new cards in every set, bro. Bro,
That's crazy.
give R&D a break.
They have to
Give
like
them
fucking
Yeah.
come up, dude.
give them a
Sorry,
break for a second
I
to
just
not
have this
have to
bold card
make.
here because I fanned it out. There's no longer any need for the 7 warlords of the sea. Like they have to come up with cards like this, dude.
But it's like,
Filler
but it's like
cards, yeah.
that's what I'm saying is like they don't have to throw as much filler into a set anymore. Clearly sets will still have, stinky cards, because that it has to be that way. You can't have a
Wah,
set
wah.
you can't have a set be all bangers. You got to have some common and uncommon stinkers. But that's also the slots where they will reprint those good commons and uncommons as well. It's I I I am very invested in, like, I don't play a ton of Magic outside of Commander, and I used to play like 60 card formats, but
Mhm.
I do pay attention to the standard format because I have friends who play it.
Yeah.
And every time a new set comes out and we're looking through the set list and we see a card reprinted, and we're like, oh my God, that card's back in the standard rotation. And it's gonna be there for another 2, 3 years.
Mhm.
It's going to be in rotation for another 2, 3 years. That card's amazing. It's great to see it back in the format. Or, this card just got added back to the format. It doesn't have that much of an impact, but it's nice to see the card back into the card pool. And I think that's kind of what people don't understand. And
Mhm.
it's possible that they haven't played games that have rotation. They may have not come from a background of playing games with rotation, but a lot of the games I have played have had rotation, and for the most part, those games have been pretty healthy. I've played a
Yeah.
lot of online TCGs, whether it be like Hearthstone or Shadowverse or something else or whatever. A lot of these online cards set rotation because it's the way to keep the game healthy, stop things from being stale and having the same damn cards be in every same deck. And as time goes on and the new sets come out, you can just reprint those cards, but don't do it all at once. Give a few reprints in every set, maybe some impactful ones, maybe some that are not as impactful, but to the casual player will be like, oh my God, that was one of my favorite back. I can play it
Mhm.
again.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
so I don't think rotation's a bad thing. And there's a
No.
lot of people harping
And
around that are concerned and that they're selling their collections, dude. I'm just
it,
like,
that's
ugh.
crazy.
That is
And
crazy.
going back to the R&D thing real quick is just like, well, like if you look at the reasoning for all these banned cards, this goes limits design space. We are unable to
Mm-hmm.
create cards of equal performance or superior performance because of this card. And it's like with set rotation, they won't have to worry about that. Like you won't have to think about those cards as you create the card pool because you're like, well, they can't play it, so it's cool. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, it's like now there's less ban lists. There's going to be less ban lists now, or either or more, depending, you know.
Yeah.
Well, let's think
It's
about
like
Gungam Giant for a second. Okay, like, I think that card could get banned. Just me,
yeah. But it's just like
just off the
you
top of my head. I
probably
think it
won't have to
would.
do it as often because you're just like, well, that card can't be played, so like that ban list doesn't matter now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just
Mhm.
it's just stuff like that. Like when you get block rotation, it's like, oh, thank God. You know what I mean? We don't
Yeah.
have to deal
No,
with that.
it's huge for them. It's huge for the department that
Yeah.
makes cards as well, man, because they don't have the burden of having to worry about the interaction that this card could have with the card from 5 years ago.
Hmm.
Exactly.
You know,
I think.
and that's how Pokemon is as well. It's like Pokemon has a they also have like a no holds barred format, dude, and sometimes new cards will get revealed and people will be like, oh my god, dude, this card goes insane dummy mode in my eternal format deck where I win on turn one. And I'm like, you literally shouldn't be able to do that in Pokemon. They're like, well, it's eternal format, baby.
You can do whatever.
I can do
I
whatever I want.
Here's the thing. Yeah, like you were saying just now, it's like if you're mad or sad or angry that like set rotation is happening, they announce that you can play unregulated format. You can play
Yep.
legacy. You can still play with your cards. It doesn't.
And
They're going to
I
get
promise
support for
you,
that.
I promise you, stores who run weekly tournaments will probably be allowed to run either event.
Mhm.
I would assume that Bandai is going to give the power to stores to run, weekly tournament, standard, weekly tournament, however you want it. Like you could pick standard or unregulated in the Bandai when you're making the event. I'm going to assume because it normally and that's actually kind of funny to think about. They added that recently where there's certain events where you could pick different formats where like you could either pick it to be sealed or constructed or something like that. And there's like kind of like a list that shows up and you can click on the different formats to make sure that it's the format of your choice. I would assume that when unregulated comes out because of the
Mhm.
rotation, that will show up as an option on
Mm.
weekly events to be able to pick that because you know some stores may be a little more casual. They might not have as many incredibly competitive players at their location, and their players may advocate to want to play unregulated more often. And if that's the case, the store will probably have the power to do so. And I think that would be correct from Bandai to allow stores to what they can run their weekly tournaments
Right.
as.
Mhm. Yeah, it's
Oh God, how long was I gone?
You're,
no,
no,
no, no,
you're
for
good.
like a fraction of a second. It was fine.
Yeah, that's why I was like, oh, thank God, you
Okay,
came
cool,
back in
cool,
the
cool.
middle of what you're saying. Like,
Oh God, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, yeah, I'm excited for rotation, and I think it's not going to be as bad as people think it is in terms of trying to find unregulated. I think they're going to be
people
all over
just
the
love to
place.
complain. They just love to complain, and it's like, dude, don't knock it before you try it. You know what I mean? It's like,
People do love complaining.
I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, I honestly, I loved like OPO4 format. Like after the Whitebeard bans, I was
It
like,
was fun.
"Th- I could play anything. I could
Mhm.
literally play
Yeah.
anything.
I played
You know what I
Arlong
mean?
in Pasadena Regionals, and I lost.
Cooking.
I
Cooking.
played
Good old
Flying
days.
Sevens OPO3 Lucci. I was playing Air Door turn 2, spit out a 5 for 7, and then I go
Oh my god, I
5 with
forgot about
Lucci,
that.
7 Jabra, play 6 cost Lucci, 7 again, and my opponent's just like, I might be cooked.
Dude, like,
I
yeah,
might be cooked.
I think because what I love about this game is just like the deck building process and like executing strategies that you're implementing.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, like set rotation, we're gonna be able to cook so fucking much. Even that we still have a year with this set in its rotation, right? It's out until
Yeah.
literally one more year that we're gonna have to do this, right? I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait until we see what actually gets reprinted and what they're going to be doing. Because, like I said, I'm curious about what archetypes are going to be reprinting. What are they actually going to be doing support? I would love to see. They're probably going to reprint. Yeah, because there's only 6 leader slots. They're probably.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to reprint more than 6 leaders, or is it still going to be 6 leaders?
No, I think it'll still be 6 leaders. I just think we'll get like 4 new leaders and then 2 reprint leaders
Mm.
eventually. Eventually. Not right now, but I think that's how it'll work. We'll get like 4 or 5 new leaders, and then we'll get 2 reprint leaders, and then the set will have support for the reprinted leaders as well.
Yeah.
Cooking!
I have an
Cooking.
idea as well. So if they go down to only 4 new leaders, right? That means they can put leaders in SP slots.
Oh,
That's true.
Oh,
They could.
SP leaders. That's why I
duh.
was like,
That's a dangerous thought.
bye.
That's a dangerous
Dude,
thought for my
wait,
wallet, bro.
no, because I don't know,
Dude.
man. Like,
And then decks can actually be pay to win. Thoughts? Oh,
oh, we haven't touched on that yet. We
Old
haven't touched on
leaders,
that yet.
old leaders only come as SP. Gotta spend $160 so you can play
Aw,
Doji with
hell
Jinbei.
nah.
There is one small detail
hell
we have
no.
not touched upon, which is they showed a slide that had the 5 mangas,
Yeah, 5 of the mangas, yeah.
OP 1 through 4, because there's also the EV.
Well, it was also the Nami from PRB, which was like really odd because that was like, or was the Nami from? No, that's from PRB.
Yeah. The Nami's from PRB.
Yeah, so they showed like the OPO 1 through 4, and then they showed Nami
well,
from
because
PRB.
PRB01 is not included in this in the rotation thing. They all have
Yeah,
all the
it is.
PRB cards. No, they have a PRB01 is not in the rotation because I'm pretty sure this Bart is from PRB and it's not in. It has a 1 on it. All the cards, especially the alternate arts as
No,
well.
No, that's what I'm saying. The cards from PRB. Wait, it has a. Wait.
Yeah, they
The
don't
Bart-
have.
yeah,
they don't
Yeah, the
have-
Bart has a 1 on it, right? Which is correct.
Which means the
'cause
Nami
'cause
searcher would have
be
a
a
1 on
one,
it as
yeah.
well. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why they should.
Yeah, because PRB is not included in the stuff that won't rotate because that stuff will still rotate.
Yes.
They didn't update
depending
they
on
didn't update
when
the
it
stuff.
got printed, right? Because they
Yeah,
printed
So,
I can't
but they
think of
showed
anything.
the PRB Nami, the
No,
the
that's
manga, and then they showed the OP 1 through 4 mangas,
Mhm.
and they said the cards shown above will still be usable in standard regulation tournaments.
Mhm.
Now,
win, baby.
it's a little worrisome because I'm not 100% certain because Bandai just released a bunch of updates to their like North American website or whatever, or just their English website, the One Piece English website, and they didn't include the new rules for rotation on there, and I understand because they're still working on it.
Yeah.
But that manga slide, it just showed the mangas and it said the above cards. It didn't say in asterisk anywhere on the screen when I was looking at that slide. It didn't show anywhere on that screen in all arts or in every version or every printing. But when they showed us the ban list, they showed off
All the printings.
they showed off the regular arts for the band cards, but then in the corner there was an asterisk that said all versions. It said including alt art.
Mhm.
It said like including alt arts of this card.
Could you imagine
and
if it's like we're banning this card but not the
and,
alt
like,
art?
And look, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt that it's not pay to win and that every single version of that card will be legal, but then it confused the hell out of me because the one drop Nami manga is Searcher Nami, but then they showed Searcher Nami
As an
in
example.
an image as an example of a card that needs to be reprinted with a different number, which confused the hell out of me. That's the part about them showing off the mangas and saying these above cards will still be usable is the scariest part to me. Because I'm like, there ain't no way
I'm buying 4 manga Sabos just to have
there
that
ain't no
competitive
way
advantage.
I'm buying 4 manga Namis. Like,
I don't want to do that.
like I don't think Bandai would do that. I don't think they would say, "Hey, I feel bad for people who bought mangas. We're gonna let you keep using only the manga
Only
version."
the mangas. You poor people.
That would be very concerning. That would be very concerning from a competitive standpoint because some of the more competitive players, if some of them have the means, and if that card is so good, 5 cost Sabo,
7-drop
uh,
ace.
7-drop ace.
Sogeking.
They would I don't know about
You're
but
just naming seven
definitely the other cards that are in that list are like they have been meta relevant. And so it definitely concerns me that they didn't write all cards. If someone could prove me wrong in the comments section,
Yeah.
I would love for you to give me where they gave us the information, or if someone was there at the show, or if someone translated it in the crowd or something, and they exclaimed that it's not just the manga versions of the card, I would love to hear it. Because I swear I haven't like found a source, like a proper source to tell me that it's not just the manga versions of the cards. And so it's a little concerning. But they did say that like there's a list that they're going to expand on that list of cards that they think
like
will
staples.
be eternal. Like because if it is every single one of those cards, I'm thinking that they're going to have a list of staples that will just never rotate out.
No manga.
And it won't just be manga cards. It won't
Bro,
just be
if
manga
manga's
cards.
only, you guys won't see me for 6 months, and I'm gonna pull up with an all manga deck.
RP Luffy
This
with, like,
deck
10
will
different
never be
mangas.
out of rotation.
That'll be the title of the video. This deck will never
eternal.
rotate.
I am
Rip
eternal.
Bozo starts playing. Ha ha ha.
I don't know, man.
Ha ha ha. Fucking.
Yeah, man.
Blackbeard.
Here's the
Oh my
thing.
God.
I think I don't know if we forgot to touch upon something so far, but like as an overview, like have we forgotten? Have we touched on everything?
I
think
we
so.
did
Yeah.
okay
Our
about
fingers everywhere, you know.
Bad list, rotation,
Structure decks, meta.
structure decks. Yeah,
Yep.
that changes.
Yeah.
I think
Worldwide release.
worldwide release. Yeah. Let's just forget like something super obvious right now. We're just gonna have to.
It's
record it next
very
week.
Well,
possible.
we could. I mean, if we're already like over time, I mean, like, you guys want to talk about OP10 meta? Bunch of OP10 meta.
It's
For some more?
technically something I'd like to discuss because
I think it goes hand in hand with ban list, right? I mean, and then if whatever goes over, we could just make it like a separate smaller video. You know, 20 minutes.
yeah.
I would like to bring up a real_Joshua tweet where he's like, I've been playtesting OPO10 with the ban list, and I don't know how to play this game anymore. It feels like I don't know how to play this game anymore, and I kind of agree. Like, I'm playing Blackbeard. Like, I played this with Blackbeard, and it's like, I fucking hate this deck. Like, this deck is not fun. I play Kid,
yeah.
and it's like, is this how you play One Piece? You just play bodies, and then that's it?
Honestly, that's what, bro. I was watching somebody's video of them. They played at a locals and they streamed on Twitch, and it was in OP10 with proxies, and ban list. And they were playing, and I swear to God, they were playing against the Blackbeard player, and it was literally just a slugfest. They just kept playing bodies and just going.
Big Jesus. Big burger.
Yeah, the opponent was basically like, play 5-drop, who's on, do whatever, but like he was also still keeping up by just like making sure he like played a body or two, and then just like made sure he swung good numbers at face, so that like they just kept trading. They just kept trading back and forth. It was so weird to watch because I was like, bro, why are they just punching each other?
OPO 1 days.
Yeah, I was like,
yeah.
why are we just slugging it out right
when
now?
Black's out of the meta, look where you guys are at back in the caveman ages. You know?
I love it.
It's that fucking TikTok like filter with the caveman.
Yeah, we need to figure out the technology, bro. We got to figure out the technology.
That's what it feels like playing Lucci. It's like I'm just slamming two sticks together. Minus.
Minus. Kusan, turn up Kusan. Oh, big stick.
Just rage rubbing when I mill all my good stuff.
Whoa!
Dude, I'm gonna look
Dude,
through
no.
this fucking video because I'm like looking at myself making these faces. It's like this could be a good face for the thumbnail. This could be a good face for
Oh,
the
yeah,
thumbnail.
there's got to be some good thumbnails in there, bro.
I'm telling you, no, Luigi is literally just gonna be like a Shank style deck where you just control your opponent's board until you can drop your big ass bodies and then control the board more
No,
if you
yeah.
have
Yeah,
to.
that's literally what
I was talking about it with
It's
Gwedgie.
really
It's like that's literally what the deck has become. It's just survive the early game, put down your bodies, and then put down your big bodies in the late game, and that's it. And I feel like that's the natural progression of the card game, you know? Because you have more Dawn, you can play bigger body.
But you know, like someone was saying this before, like Black is slowly going back to like what it was, and now the ability to play cards from your trash feels like something
there's a
to
trade-off.
yeah, yeah, it feels like there's a trade-off, but it supplements the cost of like going backwards, right? Essentially, like going back to its initial strategy, the secondary strategy it has is what it's meant to do, which is like not cover for its weaknesses, but allow you to have an alternative to just like removing your
Remember when
opponent's board
Black
every
was
turn,
bad?
right? Remember when it was
Remember when Smoker was ass?
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna show y'all in like when set rotation comes out. When we're in block one, bro, I'm gonna show y'all. Smoker was a better deck than we thought, and like Great Eruption and Ice Age over Kuzan all day. You play 4 Great Eruption, 2-3 Ice Age, bro, and and you'll have brand new because that's
Oh,
OP3. So like I think it's better than people are giving it, or it was a lot better than we're giving it credit for. And I think that like we're just trying to play for Kuzan too much. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's a trap.
Yeah, OP10 meta is just very like I don't even. It's just hard to think. Are these decks good, or am I just too Lucci brain to think like this deck is not worth
No.
my time?
No.
Where's the removal?
There's some really sweet decks in the meta right.
Recreate.
I'm trying to put together Limb. I'm trying to put together Limb right now.
that
It looks fun. It looks
When it
so
Oh, yeah.
fun.
first, it's an
It looks so
insane
fun actually, bro.
aggro.
And like even against like Teach and stuff like that, I'm like, okay, I don't get my on plays. That's crazy, bro. So I'm gonna on my 3 Dawn turn, cheat a 5 drop into play. And then on my 6 Dawn turn, because I ramped, I'm gonna play a 3 drop and then I'm gonna play another 5 drop.
You don't get the
Like
ability? Ooh, fuck it.
and then
I
on
don't care.
and then on 9 Dawn, you hit them with the Zoro.
oh yeah, Zoro being unchecked now too, totally
Yeah.
because of Ice Age being gone is going to be another kind of scary idea. So I definitely think live numbers will go up because of this ban list.
Yeah.
I think not having Raigo or Ice Age to worry about is a Zoro up.
Bolo will do good in this format because like
Oh, Red Rock, yeah.
Red Rock, mid range removal, good overall like play style that complements its draw engine that complements its play style.
Not terrible into Limb either because like Limb ramps, they do the thing, they play a couple bodies. If you don't get swarmed super hard, you could probably come back with the well-timed gravity blade raging tiger, and then probably like now your opponent, if you gravity blade raging tiger, I think you have to skip over the turn where you'd have to remove the Zoro because I think their 9 Dawn turn is probably like your 8 Dawn turn. Their 9 Dawn turn is probably your 8 Dawn turn, so you either have to pick and choose on whether or not you gravity blade raging tiger.
No, 'cause-
You
oh no, you're right. You're right.
or
You
you either choose
talking about
gravity blade
Ren.
raging tiger or
Yeah,
right
that matchup. Yeah.
because you're not red rocking the turn before because they have like 2 5 drops or like 2 5 drops and a 3 drop and a 1 drop, so you're
That's
not
what
red
Joe's
rocking.
for.
Yeah,
You just have to answer because like people
that
like
is what
Gravity
Joe's
Blade's
used for 100%.
yeah, like Gravity Blade's a very strong card, but like Boa's overall strategy, I think I mentioned at the beginning of the video, is kind of just you're just like you're not trading one for one. You're like I establish a body, return a card to hand, and then remove your body, draw a card with leader, right?
Yeah,
So it's like your 6th on turn. It doesn't have like you don't have to Gravity Blade them. You could just establish the Jozu and eat a card out of their hand, and then return one of those bodies.
fair.
Right? and then you can rock the Zoro. And you're like,
I'm trying to
Yeah.
cook with Usopp. I'm trying to cook with Usopp right now.
Just share your list with Tonka. He just pulled a Usopp alternate art leader.
Oh, did you really?
Not a pre-release. He bought a
Yes,
box
sir.
afterwards, and he just pulled a leader.
Oh, they still have boxes available?
They
I might
have
have
4
to-
boxes, and like first through fourth get, because first through fourth got pricing today for pre-release. But like you guys get first dibs. I'm like, I already got 4. I'm good.
You didn't buy another one?
No, dude.
Have
Already-
more.
Dude,
I would have bought your alts.
this is $50,
that-
dude. You can just get it for
Yeah, I'm already
$50.
gonna buy it off of you, bro.
the Usopp leader is useless because now we have.
God, Usopp.
God,
Usopp.
It
Usopp.
hurts. It hurts. Put me down.
To be fair, that won't come out for
Yeah.
It doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
That-
I will
that
never
won't-
play
that
the
won't
all
come in the
leader
mail
because
until
that
like
leader exists.
I don't know, what did it say on there? Like
End
September.
of the year.
What did it say? I think it
I'll
said
be like, hey,
September.
$30 for the mat and the leader. I'll give you 120 for God Usopp now.
Yeah, I don't know.
God Usopp ASAP.
Give it to me. Yeah. God Usopp should have been one come out originally, but
That's
people
what
were
I'm saying.
definitely like, damn, Bandai really hid this from us, huh?
They did.
They could have
They
just
did.
given it to us in the set. What's up with that?
Dude, because they knew they were gonna sell out of the playmats. They're like, you
Yeah,
guys
to be fair, I genuinely think that playmat like sold out to bots, bro.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm like pretty
Yeah.
certain because like I refreshed like the second that they came up and it was gone.
Hey, we won't have to worry about buying that shit online because we have Mitsuha and there's like One Piece card games start opening up.
That's
Oh,
in it.
true.
Yeah,
That's true.
it's gonna be good.
I
Wait,
used to-
you're in San
I used to-
Diego?
Yeah, I used to pray for
Yeah,
times
I
like
think
this.
so. We saw it. We saw like okay, let me post it in the chat actually.
Yeah, that's gonna be cool. That's gonna be
But this was the
I'm going to be there every day.
You
I'm
live
going to
up there.
get off
dude. You
work,
can fucking
and
build
I'm
it.
going to. I could walk there. It'd be like a 3-mile.
as long as
walk.
it's a permanent location, because I think most of the permanent locations are in a Mitsuha.
That's why I'm like,
Oh yeah.
please let it be real, bro. Because I went there the other day, there was no construction.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
When did you go after I told you about it or no?
Yeah, I was literally there Monday, the day
Weird.
after you told me about it.
Maybe it was a different Mitsuha, but I'm not sure.
I don't know how many Mitsuhas there are in San Diego, but
There's
either way,
only
I'm
one.
gonna,
The one
I'm
in
gonna be
Conway
there
that I
every day.
think about.
There might be another one.
But I know there's
Maybe
multiple
one.
H bars, but so is I'm pretty sure there's only the one on Conway Street.
But yeah, I was literally there Monday, and I didn't see any construction going on. Maybe they don't need to do construction, and it's already like built.
But then you would have seen it, right?
No, because yeah, no, you're right. I don't know.
All right.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
because they literally, and you would have seen the sign because there was a sign there that said like One Piece card game and whatever else. Let me dude, I don't know why my Discord is not working on my.
All right. I think. Do we have anything else to touch upon from the news? The massive 4-week break of news that we had.
Nah, I don't think so.
Not at the
think-
moment.
Yeah, I think we touched upon everything. We'll see how much flack I get, or how much flack we all get. I'm calling aggro players
This ban list is
cockroaches.
amazing. This ban list
This
is
ban
amazing.
was amazing.
Clock rotation's
Set
amazing.
rotation's good.
Set rotation's good. Global simultaneous release is amazing.
Ah, money!
If you didn't want Gekomori banned, go cry about it more. Give me your tears.
Alright, thank you guys for watching.
Thanks for watching, y'all. We'll see y'all later. Well, actually, I think next time we'll talk about the state of the meta for OP10. Because, hey, 2
Oh
weeks
yeah,
is a
once we
lot.
get a couple more locals in,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure everyone's gonna agree to play post ban list already.
Mm-hmm.
Now, high key, I'm going to be recording my games, and I'm gonna shit them out onto the channel.
There's some what is it, like voiceover, like Cool Kid Alex. Check him out.
Shout out Cool Kid TCG.
Shout out Cool Kid TCG. Cool Kid Alex 13. Or is it
That's our
18?
dog.
That's our dog, dude. I
That's
love
my
seeing him
dog.
every time, dude.
That's our
Oh
dog.
no!
He owes me a drink. He gave me the law, and I gave him the 8 droppers and onto AA. And I'm like, It's like $4 more. My Doffy's $4 more. Just buy me a drink at Chili's when we go there, dude.
You're like, you got me, bro.
Alcohol.
Alcohol. All right.
Alcohol.
See y'all later. Take care, y'all.
What? Yeah,
Peace.
bye.